It's not too late. It's not too late.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. What's the day? Friday? Yeah. It's Friday, July 9th, 2021. And we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. We've got broken cameras. I don't have any of you guys on cam except for Jeremiah. Why is that? I am confused.
That's all we really need.
Let me.
He is the talking head of the party.
Well,
Gwydion.
what did Gwydion say?
Yeah, I'm out too.
What the fuck? I'm out. Yeah, I don't get what's going on here. How do I have just Jeremiah? What doesn't make any sense to me. Are the links broken? Do we have to? You know, I set up OBS Ninja and what 18 sessions ago. We haven't had to touch it, so I don't even know how to use it anymore. Take a look at Matacuries. I got.
You have the
Great
wrong
take.
scene.
Oh, Empire of the Ghouls.
Yeah. If Jeremiah wasn't there, it would be one thing.
Right?
But why is
Why
it
is
working?
just one working? I mean, that's the worst part of it. If Jeremiah wasn't there, I'm like, okay, the whole thing's broken. But he's the only one there in God mode, and
None of us are using the links that we had from last time, right? That were to my room.
I used the link that was on the message of the day.
Yeah, that hasn't changed since day one.
Unless there's two message of the days. That's the only thing I could
No,
think
there
of.
shouldn't
Of the
be.
day.
I haven't
Right.
changed those links in ever, so I don't know.
Added myself again and see it doesn't work. I don't know. But yeah, ID publish is already yeah. But let's not stop playing D&D. How's that? Let's just kind of
Do it
go.
without faces.
Only so you're going to need to zoom in a little, Jeremiah, since you're the face of the stream at the moment.
So yeah, there
And,
could have been a new OBS Ninja release. I know they changed their primary URL, but the old URL was supposed to work. And
yeah,
so,
but why is Jeremiah working?
yeah, I don't know.
It's probably on my end, if I had to guess. Let me. I'll play with it. We'll see.
All right, so should we go ahead and jump into this then?
Let's do it.
Last time, we actually played a full session, not on the stream because Drake was off doing something,
Reunion.
and reunion, fun stuff, and Slacker. So we had a wonderful session that I recorded. It's available to view on YouTube. So if you want to watch what happened last time, go ahead and check it out on YouTube. And you see all the fun stuff where they traveled and finally made it to Joss, the city that they've been trying to get to. And then we lost the unnamed. He's no longer with the party. Instead, his twin brother Tegas has now joined the party and has taken over his spot. So that's kind of what happened during the last session. And we're starting off. They all gained level 5, and you guys have arrived in Jost. And what do you guys want to do?
Describe Jost. Is it a town, a city, a village, a keep?
Yeah,
I forgot.
Jost, the city of fish, and it is a large fishing town that lies on the northwest coast, about 20 miles north of the border of Krakovar. And it used to be kind of a boring fishing town that mostly defended itself from Reaver dwarves. But after the undead raided Krakovar and took it over, they realized that they didn't want to fall under the empire of King Lucian, the vampire lord. And so they allowed Jarl Scooty the Whelp, who is a Reaver dwarf, to take over the town. And so now Jost is ruled by Jarl, who is a Reaver dwarf. If we take a look at the map, you'll see Jost is up here on the north end. And the Reaver dwarf kingdom center is up here at Skagarholm. And so Jarl just kind of moved down to Jost, and it's just right across the border from Krakovar. The city itself smells of fish pretty much everywhere you go, as it's the major fishing port, and there's boats constantly going in and out. Since Jarl took over, the entire town has been constantly working on reinforcing itself, rebuilding its towers, rebuilding its defensive structures and walls, um, and they are slowly getting stronger and better able to defend themselves. It's a pretty rowdy town. There's probably roughly 3,000 or so Reaver dwarves in residence, in addition to all of the normal shipyard residences, craftsfolk, and fishermen and whatnot that reside in the town. There's one large temple of Sif. It is the main temple of the town. This is an area that worships Sif heavily, and that is where the Unnamed went and took him a name upon himself.
And
So
we're
that's
at
generally. What's that?
where are we? Where are we at? Like at the temple to Sith?
Yeah.
Sith?
So, well, when
Or-
we ended off, the Unnamed went to the temple. You guys were not allowed in because they only allow members in if you're female or dwarf. Um, other than that, they really don't let you in. And so you guys were left outside while he went in and went through his trial. Um, and the city itself, you met up with Avgost, and he took you out to dinner at he's staying at an inn called the Uncommon Porpoise, which is kind of run down. It's not the greatest inn, but he likes it because he used to spend his youth there. Um, and he's taking you out to dinner at some of the places there, and that's kind of where we left off. As a reminder about why you guys were heading towards here, there was a twofold mission there. One was to escort Avgost, and the second was to speak with the Temple of Sif to try and find out where the holy robes of Sister Adelind were.
The
You
holy
were told
robes.
the people here would be the most likely to know the location of that particular artifact.
Weren't we given a specific person's name to talk to? Mazurik, is that right?
Ooh.
No, you were given the name of Mazurik. Jagoda Mazurik is the high priestess of the Temple of Sif, and the Unnamed met her during his trial. You were also given a book, which was carried by the Unnamed, which was called The Tree of Knowledge. It's a religious book with the symbol of a teardrop on the cover.
Quint also wants to have somebody look at this arrow stuck in his body.
Okay, who are you gonna go see about that?
Blink offers to do it.
Well, he doesn't. He's like, I don't want you snooping around in there. You've got big hands.
Just let me poke it, just a little.
Well, I'm thinking it's somewhat necrotic and kind of. Is there like the temple to Sith is what's this? The fish temple. I don't know.
There's a Temple of Thor in the southern part, and there's a Temple of Sif. So in the pantheon, Thor and Sif are married, and so those are the two primary temples that are in the town. There's God's Market, where is mostly buying and selling. Dwarf Town, which is all dwarves pretty much, and then the rest of the city.
Well, maybe we could go to the temple and do our business there. And if we're lucky, they'll also be able to help you out, or could at least tell us where to go. Rather than running around town trying to figure out how to get rid of this thing, we can take care of our other task first. Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
do yours
Quint
at the same time.
definitely thinks the temple's the right place to go. He's like, The no name that has a name now can take us, right?
Yes, the now named.
So as you guys finish up your dinner, you see the unnamed walk in. You've always seen him 99% of the time, except for when he was bathing himself, in clerical robes of Sif. Um, a lot of it was to hide his very skinny and gaunt frame. As he walks in, you see that he's not wearing clerical robes. You can see the armor that he normally wears. Over that, he has the tabard, the garment over it. It's just basically like a long banner with a hole in it that you fit over your head. Starts with a belt, cinch it with a belt. It's red, has these gold lines on either side, and these stripes that make go up and down in points in a pattern down it, and over the heart, where the heart would be, is a large circle with a quiver of arrows that have been banded together. It's, you guys have seen that symbol before. It's the symbol of Sif, but now it's emblazoned on this habit that he's wearing. And you would swear he looks a little more buff. Not a lot, but before he was skin and bones, and his armor was very loose. Um, even even though it was tailored to him, now it doesn't quite bang around as loosely. It looks like he's a little bit more buff. And as he comes into the room where you all are, he stops and says, "Ah, I am glad you are all here. I am no longer the unnamed." And he'll bow and say, "I am Tagos, the Blade of Sif."
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
It
does
has
that?
been a long journey to get here,
Oh, okay, good.
and I
He knows
thank
nothing
you
about
for
religion, so he's like,
your
congratulations.
assistance in bringing me this far.
Blink says, "Are you still gonna come with us?"
You're not leaving, are you? I mean, you take a lot of hits.
I have spent much time in contemplation, and I do feel that this is the best way to serve Sif, is to finish our cause and find these garments. So yes, I will continue with you all. It would be my honor.
Hey,
Oh,
y-
good.
y-
And
y-
Blink just kind of relaxes and it's like, "Yes, come over and join us."
can you drink now?
The
Do you have ID?
Sif is the one of Sif's tenants is beer. Absolutely.
Surprising. Customer support bot doesn't drink, and we haven't figured that one out yet.
I don't require anything at all. Thank you.
Not even some like
Occasional
oil.
old
Yes, well,
Little hot
Well, I
milk
have
from
my
the trade
alchemy
bit.
jug for all the oil I'll ever need, so I just kind of dump that on myself every night and wiggle
So
around.
Quinn's gonna ask Tegas, do you think you could talk to someone over at the temple to see about what this arrow that's moving around inside of me is?
Sif is a very particular deity. I might be able to arrange an audience with the high priest. She would be able to tell us the information we require. Um, there will probably be a test of valor before she gives you information. That is typically the way that it is done. Especially if this information is very valuable, they will not just give it to you for free. You will
Well,
have to prove your worth.
I was just a C student, so I mean, any pointers would be nice. I gotta take a
My
test.
friend, you are in luck. It is not a test of intelligence. It is a test of combat skills. She is the
Oh,
goddess of war.
maybe I can try out my new moonsteel weapon that I found in my inventory after I blacked out during the petrification fight. I don't know. My brain petrified for what was
We,
that?
we had,
Was it a rapier? Did I catch that? A rapier?
well, we had a good discussion about your magic weapon that you were carrying that sheds light. So all of the time you were in darkness, you were actually shedding light.
Yes, it says bright light, which gives you a disadvantage.
What?
Your
Which?
moon touched
Yeah, I think it's
whatever it was, short
when you
sword.
have it out. He never unsheathes the damn thing. He always shoots with his bow.
Yeah, so we
It's
gave you
just
a rapier. Plus,
yeah,
you're like the only rapier in D&D 5, the only rogue in D&D 5e that doesn't use a rapier.
well, it's because it's not light, and I wanna.
It is. It's finesse. That's
No,
the only one
it has to be
that does the
light.
most damage. That's why everybody uses it.
Yeah, but if I want to use two, it has to be. They both have to be light. Light, stabby, stabby. Usually, if it comes down to him fighting, he's got both of his weapons out because I'm getting sneak attack on one of these bitches. Yeah, so let's go over to the. I mean, is it nighttime? Is it no time to be out time in the nighttime to go to the temple? Do we need to sleep and get up in the morning?
Yeah, daytime would be best to visit the temple um, rather than bothering them at night.
I don't suspect that Quint is a heavy drinker or anything, but I think after the shadow trip and all that, a bottle of wine is probably in his future.
Blink will
So,
literally eat or drink anything.
well, let's go to like the like most popular tavern in town. Let's go there.
All right.
Let's.
It's not hard to find. It's very rowdy. It's full of dwarves, and all of these rowdy, violent Reaver dwarves are in there getting just hammered. Um, so yeah, you have a lovely, rowdy evening, um, getting very drunk, drinking a lot of really good beer, and the occasional glass of wine along with it. And you sleep through the night without any incident. And the next morning, bright and early, you guys can head on over to the temple. So the temple of the Shield Maiden is a large temple, and you can see that it is currently under construction. Um, it appears to be being reinforced, where they are turning it into a fortress. Stone walls with battlements and stuff are under construction all the way around a central wooden temple. Um, and it looks like they're really trying to fortify the place. Standing in front of the temple at the entranceways are two females wearing bronze breastplates, carrying bows and axes and shields on their backs. And as you approach, they kind of stand in front of the gates and state your business.
I am Tejas, the Blade of Thief. We request an audience with the High Priest.
Take us. Welcome back, brother. Last night was wonderful.
Indeed it was.
Are these folks with you?
Yes, they are. We have been traveling for many months. I trust them.
She nods her head. Well, on your word then, you may enter into the courtyard. And the two acolytes stand aside and open it up. And behind them, it enters into this large courtyard. It almost kind of looks like an arena. It's this large sandy. There's some pillars up and down the courtyard area, and some areas on the sides where it looks like there could be seating. Um, and there's the whole courtyard is just filled with people that are practicing fighting. They're practicing fighting skills, axes, swords. There's a bunch of people that are shooting bows and arrows at targets and stuff. Um, there's a lot of that going on, and at the other end of the courtyard, you see Jagoda Mazarek, who is the high priestess. Tegas recognizes her. She's standing at the one end, and she is overseeing this training. Kind of a very stern taskmaster. She's scowling at a few of them that don't appear to be fighting very well.
All right, so we will approach and wait until I'm able to catch her eye.
Okay, it takes a few minutes of her ignoring you a little bit because she's yelling at some of the recruits and making them change or correct some of their attacks and stances. But after a few minutes, she turns to you and, "Welcome back, brother. What can we do for you?"
My companions and I are on a quest, and we would believe that you have. I've been told that you have information that we will require. We would request an audience with you when you have time.
"Come, let us sit." And she turns around and walks you back into the wooden temple, into a small room. It's very plain, not ornately decorated or anything. Everything looks very utilitarian and functional. So she sits down at a table and looks at each of you and says, "Well, speak. What is it you wish?"
Now, I know it hasn't been the unnamed up to this point. It's usually been Quint who's been the mouth of the party, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend Quint here knows more of the information.
And, how do we address her? High
Jagoda.
priestess or Jagoda? Jagoda?
Just Jagoda.
Jagoda. I'm from a family of shadow travelers from Cracovia, and the keep that I was at was taken over, and I was separated from my family and started out in Zobek. From Zobek, we were put on, should we call it a quest? From, what was the god's name that we,
Rava.
yeah, the Rava sent us on a quest to find some holy robes of Sister Adeline.
She raises an eyebrow at you.
We were tasked that these robes could possibly help us stop a wedding.
Whose wedding?
Some dead guy that I can't find in my notes. Oh, here it is. Recover the holy robes of Sister Adeline and use it to stop the Dark Wedding and then defeat the leader of the Ghoul Uprising. That was what we were told.
Interesting story. And how did you come here from Zobek? The way is rather dangerous.
We traveled many of the shadow roads to get here.
Ah, along the shadow paths. Well, that would certainly speed up your journey.
We have destroyed many of the unliving. We have had many battles. And they have fought bravely.
That is good. That is good. It is always good to destroy the unliving. We deal with them constantly here. It is a constant battle. What is your intent to do with the holy robes? You mentioned stopping a dark wedding, which I'm not familiar with, but I will take some time to look into it. But what is your intent with the holy robes?
Well, to stop the wedding is we don't know about the wedding either, so hopefully our quest will be discovered as well. Do you know where these knights are that have these holy robes?
Perhaps, perhaps. But please understand that I am loath to give away their location to
Well,
someone who may or may not be capable of surviving the journey.
well, before you even say that, I have to admit that we have been spied upon and followed, it seems to me, by undead. They seem to be attracted to perhaps this arrowhead that has broken off in my flesh. I'll see if I can find it and show her.
Or the wound.
Yeah. And I don't
She
know if it's some kind of scrying device or not, so before we...
she asks you to describe the circumstances of how it came into how you
Well, see, I was
got it.
minding my own business when somebody shot me and it hurt like hell. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Quint remembers, but I
yeah.
don't. Somebody shot him.
You got shot by someone and it went in. Um, she says, "Hold on just a moment," and she calls one of her acolytes in and whispers something to the acolyte, and the acolyte looks at you and begins casting a spell. And after a few moments, the acolyte turns back to Jagoda and says, "Yep, he has one in him." And Jagoda turns back to you and says, "I see you've been infected with a tracker. It is a tool of the Darakul, the ghoulish spies. They've devised a hideous trick in which they amputate one of their fingertips and they take the bone and replace an arrowhead with it. When it's fired, it embeds itself in your body. And because it's a part of their body, they can then track it wherever it goes. It's an insidious trick. Luckily, they can only use it 10 times. That's
It's a
all the digits have.
proctal tractor. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? The
So
finger.
you have a piece of ghoul finger
Cool
embedded
finger
in.
has been inserted in me. Great.
Thankfully, we have found a way to remove them.
Thankfully.
Unfortunately, it will hurt.
No, it won't.
You'll survive, but it will hurt.
Can someone beat me up until I'm unconscious?
You'll probably go unconscious from it anyway.
Yeah.
She describes the ritual to you, and what it essentially is that you have to be bathed in radiant damage until it's destroyed.
That doesn't sound horribly bad. Can I wear, like, a mask over my eyes?
You can. It will reduce you to 0 hit points, at which point they will heal you. They have to purify you with radiant to destroy the necrotic tissue within you.
Well, we're gonna find out how close to vampirism I am.
And they can do that. Basically, she tells you that they can do that, anytime today or tonight. Before she's willing to give any more information about the holy robes or anything else, um, she says that you must be proven. Um, you Before we can give any information, we must test you. Your test will be to survive, and if possible, destroy. Customer support bot, I love it. That's creepy.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
I can show the stream only him and only him. I turned him off so he could pick his nose, but there you guys go. Did it come on? Yeah. That's classic right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I decided not to do a voice changer though, so that people didn't want to murder me.
So she looks at you and says, "Are you all ready to take the test to prove that you are worthy of the knowledge?"
I'm ready for Radiant or the test. I'm a little hungover from last night. Too much red wine.
If you die during the test, we can use that as a good opportunity to irradiate you and then bring you back.
Do I come back as the same race?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They can provide everything from greater restoration, raise dead, whatever. They full service temple.
Full service temple.
So she leads you out and to the arena, and says, "Well, here's your test. You all will be needing to travel into Morgau, into Krakovar, into lands that are ruled and infested with undead, but not just the common undead, with intelligent, thinking undead. Yeah, undead that have knowledge of years of magic, of powers. We happen to have captured one of the denizens of Morgau, and we've been extracting information from her. As a priestess of Morena, she has given us some knowledge that we can share with you once you've proved yourselves capable. She no longer has any useful information to provide us, so it's a good fit for your test. Your test is to survive, and if possible, defeat her. Your companion, Tegas, she points to him, will oversee the battle, and the shield maidens of the temple will stand as witness. And she leads you over to the entryway, and here you notice that over the top, the roof has been closed. It appears to have been they've erected a structure so that they're capable of closing over the top of the roof, and it cuts out the sunlight. And so the room is lit by torches. There are torches all around the area. All of the people that were fighting have been cleared out and are kind of watching from the sidelines. And in the center of the arena, you see this large grate that slides aside. And from underneath, a little platform slowly arises. And on that platform, you see chained
A goat.
You see chained a
Oh.
lady. Her clothes are tattered. Lying at her feet is a wicked-looking barbed scourge, and as she smiles at you, you see fangs extending from her mouth.
She has nice eyes.
And everybody, give me a perception check. All right, Blink and Quint, you notice something a little out of place with the way she's dressed, in that around one of her arms there is a leather strap that seems to be wrapped around one arm.
She says she's laying, like lying on
She-
the ground.
No, she's standing on the little platform and she's chained down to the platform.
So as the platform settles, Tejas will say to you all, he gives a quick blessing as he has many times before, as you were, like you did when we start the day. Just a quick blessing over you all. He says, "This fight will not be easy. I will not open the roof unless you all fall. Please show your worth, and if you are successful, then we will be able to get the information, knowing that going forward we will be able to handle anything. I wish you the blessings of Sif and Rava." And he goes and stands up on the little in sort of like a spectator box with close to a handle that gear that opens up the roof.
And as Tegas does that, you see the chains that are around this lady's arms fall away, and she reaches down and picks up the whip that was laying at her feet and smiles at you all. And let's go ahead and roll. All right, well, customer support bot gets the start.
Are you talking, Jeremiah?
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong chatty button. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to there. I'm gonna try my crossbow.
Okay,
That sound means that I did good.
you hit crit. Nice.
I might accidentally double tap, but no. I'm gonna do a cool pose, but I'm a robot, so it's stiff and it's not totally accurate.
Do you do the robot like the robot? No one gets it. You
All
piss her
right.
off now.
Yeah, you kind of did. So she goes ahead and
Bite me, bite me.
casts a spell at you. What is the range on that one? Okay, you are just in range. So she goes ahead and casts a spell on you, and you feel this wave come over you as you fail your saving throw, and the rest of you all see customer support bot disappear. as
Oh,
you have been banished.
that was fun.
Yeah, you got another character ready, Jeremiah?
Well, he'll
Just
be
take
back
it.
in a minute once
Just,
everybody else is dead.
just take a break. Did he go invisible? I don't know.
And then she backs up. Let's to there to get a little more space.
All right. Blink is you guys notice he does not have his usual crossbow out anymore. He actually has a shield that he's carrying in one hand, and he runs forward behind this shield and he pulls out this glass wand, and it appears to have some sort of sigils carved into it down the side of the wand. And he points it at the vampire and shoots a firebolt at her.
That's a hit. Nice long ranged attack. She makes her concentration save as this wave of fire blasts all around her.
All right. Well, Quint is going to probably try to get behind some cover, but as he goes, he's going to fire an arrow off. And then he's going to get behind this column over here. Pulling
Okay.
his... well, he's going to fire his arrow off. Maybe next round he's going to activate his cloak. But he still wants to fire an arrow. So... go on her twang. Ooh, nice.
That's also a hit.
So just an arrow.
You shoot her in the shoulder. She kind of whips around a little bit, grimaces, but she manages to stay concentrating on customer support bot.
So is that dark hourglass considered dark dim light?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything here, anywhere it's dark, is dim light. Otherwise, it's bright.
All right. So Tyrion will he's going to run up behind some cover, and as he's running, he pulls out a javelin and just chucks it at her.
Like Lamar from The Revenge of the Nerds.
So the only here is Blink, unless he's ducking behind one of the pillars.
Yeah, he's gonna get behind one of the actually, you know what? Let me change that. He's not gonna do that. He's actually gonna take a double move and run forward behind, still behind cover, but trying to get a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And customer support bot is still banished.
He's learning how to whistle.
So am I just floating around the astral realm, or like?
Yeah, you're sitting in a little harmless
Demi-plane.
pop
Yeah.
and just kind of floating. There is nothing. It's just emptiness.
I never want to leave.
Just you
I've
and
achieved
your
nirvana.
thoughts.
Dreams of Rava.
Tyrion's on a mission. Dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Doo-doo-doo.
So he can't see her from where he is. He's gonna move up just a little bit. And he's just running straight at her now that he sees her. And as he's running, he will go into a rage, and then he's actually going to let's see, how far will he be when he gets there?
That's 35 so far.
That'd be
Yeah,
30
his
away.
movement speed is now 35.
Okay.
So
20 away. Chucking a javelin.
so 25. Okay, yeah, he's gonna chuck a javelin at her.
All right.
Oh,
As it bounces off the armor that this priestess is wearing, she's got chainmail on underneath that red dress of hers. It's very fine, blood-tinged chainmail.
And you hear this string of expletives in halfling as Tyrion misses.
Quint's going to activate his Cloak of the Elven Kind, which will give him advantage on any of his stealth checks and give anyone trying to perceive him visually disadvantage.
Okay.
As an
He is in
action. Say again?
He is in bright light right now.
He has, well, he's also behind cover, so.
Right.
There's only one person I'm trying to stay hidden from. So, and then he's gonna bonus action hide, and then he's gonna try to actually move over here and bonus action hide. Get behind this column. Just trying to get a little bit closer.
Okay.
And that's it for this round.
All right. So she sees Tyrion coming up, and what's the range on this spell? He's how far? 25. Perfect. So she smiles as she sees Tyrion running up towards her, and casts a spell. And Tyrion has to make a saving throw, which he fails. And as Tyrion is running up towards her, you see him falter just a little bit and stop as blood and ichor come pouring out of his mouth and his eyes and his nose and his ears. He's just dripping as blood just gushes out of everywhere on his body. And he takes
He grabs at his tattoos to try to keep the blood in.
he takes some damage, and
He resisted a little bit.
yeah, unfortunately, this is ongoing. So let me add that as I didn't have that coded.
Bludgeoning. I never can spell it right. Is that right?
I think so, yeah. And I can't remember how to do the save, the automatic make the save on that. Save end, I think it is. Anyway, they'll have to make a saving throw each round.
I know how to drag them from one place to the next. That's about it.
Yeah.
Is that saving throw on her turn or his turn?
Probably at the beginning of your turn, if I had to guess. But
yeah, it would be at the beginning of your turn. You are also incapacitated for 1 round.
as you poop yourself. it takes a little while to get that down the
But
pants leg.
it's like Ebola. It's just blood and poop and everything just pouring out as he's sitting there vomiting blood. What was redeemed?
Jeremiah got bored and redeemed.
I just saw it on Chatty and it just says custom rewards. I didn't.
Yeah, if you could have the monkey attack the lady, it'd be great.
Yeah.
The poo monkey.
Oh.
Clyde is going to fall out and knock down.
Okay. So, as Tyrion vomits up blood, you see a large, solid-looking chunk come up with the rest of the liquid that he's spewing out.
Are those peanuts? Oh, those are arms. Oh.
This little chunk on the ground turns around, stands up, and this is what you see as he picks up some blood-soaked poop and he starts chucking at this vampire who created him, and then quickly turns around and tries to jump back into Tyrion's mouth, and disappears as he crawls down Tyrion's throat. I forgot to do the music. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm sure Robin will appreciate having a poop monkey inside of her.
It's another way to be tracked by the poop monkey.
Poop
All
monkey
right.
tracking.
So, and then she wants to. Where was she? Right there.
She's all sporadic.
She's gonna come up to there and get behind this pillar.
All right. So Blink steps forward, and he is going to summon the cannon. Can you add that to the map for me, John?
Yep.
Thank you. And move it just a little bit so that it's within range of Tyrion, and give Tyrion some temp hit points.
Like right there? Or closer?
Like there.
Okay.
Just making sure it's targeting Tyrion and itself. There we go. And that's it.
All right. And you get to go again.
Back to back going.
It's always funny when that happens. All right. Well, Blink is going to continue to just move up towards her. Let's see if he can get up close enough to do something. All right, so he'll keep moving up, go around this trapdoor section, just to be on the safe side. And I can see her from there. Let's go ahead and cast. I'm going to drop a fairy fire right in that area around her.
Okay.
So she lights up in like this bright pink hue that hopefully everybody else can see. And I'll move the cannon and do some temp hit points again.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanna use, since she's behind cover. Quint wants to use his. I think I want to use it. Douse light 30 feet, and it's an action. He wants to put out that torch.
Okay.
With a cantrip, douse light 30 feet. A single small source of light within range. A torch, a candle, a lantern, or a light or dancing light cantrip.
Okay. I'm gonna put that one out.
Yeah.
All right, it's up.
Nice. Unity. I love it. And then he's gonna move over and there, and then bonus action hide in the dim light
Okay.
and pass his turn.
And customer support bot is still banished.
Can I apply poison to my weapon while I'm where I am? It lasts a minute, so
Well,
I could.
No, you're incapacitated. You can't do anything.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
incapacitated while you're in there.
Okay. Sorry.
You're thinking about rubbing something metal and long and hard for a little while, but all you can do is think about it.
You needed to make a saving throw. Where is that? Which you failed, so you took that damage.
All right,
Clyde.
and then
So you continue to puke blood and are still incapacitated.
all right, so there's nothing he can do then.
Nope. But there is stuff that she can do. As she casts another spell and drops. Where is it? And right next to you, Blink, this thing appears. It looks like a large blood-tinged mace, and it strikes out at the cannon. And smashes into the cannon, doing 9 points of damage. And then that was a bonus action. And as her action, she's going to, that was 5. Get right up next to you. And she is going to begin attacking you with her action. So the first thing she does as she runs up to you is she stares at you, and you see something weird going on with her eyes as you fail her bewitching gaze, and you are charmed for 1 minute. Let's see, Targets one humanoid. The target must succeed. While charmed, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. Each time the vampire priestess or her allies do anything harmful, you can repeat the saving throw. Also, if another creature uses an action to shake you out of your stupor. So you are also incapacitated right now. Quint.
Uh-oh. Well, I want to make sure I hit her, so I'm going to use my inspiration to get advantage on the shot.
She's lit up by fairy fire still.
Nice.
Yes.
So I won't do that, and I'll take advantage of the advantage and give her a longbow shot in the back. Oh.
You know, you've done damage to her in the past, but she doesn't seem at all hurt right now.
Yeah, because she's
Closed over.
she needs to be bathed in radiant. That's what she does. But there is the damage.
And she fails her concentration save as customer support bot pops into existence again.
Oh, darn.
And then he's gonna dip over into the dim light here and use his ability. What has he got? Whisper? Whisper Archetype, which allows him to hide in dim light even while viewed. Yeah, take
So
the
you, like,
hide action while you're in dim light or darkness, even if you're being observed. You have advantage on the stealth check to become hidden.
All right, so you pretend to become sand.
And one with the sand. And I think that's it. Pass my turn.
So I'm incapacitated. So there's nothing I can do, right?
Mhm.
All right.
You can
Oh.
moan a little, maybe.
That supposed to have a saving throw first. And you succeed, so you only take half that damage, so you absorbed. How much did you actually take? You took 10 because you absorbed the rest.
Right. Yeah.
So you would be at 6. And instead, yep, you're good.
All right. So Tyrion has lost rage because he didn't attack last round. He was unable.
But he
But
was attacked. Doesn't the spell count as being attacked and he took damage?
oh, I don't know. Does that count?
Did you take
I thought it
damage?
He took damage.
Yeah, that counts.
No,
we take damage.
Well,
That's why
yeah.
a lot of people run around hitting themselves with a hammer. So I'm taking damage, I'm taking damage, I'm taking damage.
All right, let me put that back on him.
Keep yourself angry.
Yeah.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
And he took damage from the spell, so that's good because he's gonna run up next to her. Yeah, let's put him right next to her. And then he's like, as he's running, he's like digging around in his pack, and he pulls out this vial, and he like basically just says something. You guys can't hear what, and the vial emits sunlight. Sorry, Quint. He actually says that.
Oh yeah, I remember the vial.
I didn't. That's awesome. All right. Sunlight. Let's see what that does to her.
There you go. This light is pure sunlight for in a 30-foot radius. Well, it's bright light in a 30-foot radius, dim light an additional 30 feet. It's pure sunlight causing harm or discomfort to vampires and other undead that are sensitive to it.
And shadow elves that are standing right there too. Just say.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Let's see
And kobolds.
how stealthy he is, even standing in sunlight.
You said it was 30, 60 or
30, 30. Bright 30, dim additional 30.
right?
Oh yeah, Blink doesn't like that either, but what are you gonna do?
All right. Very good.
And I assume that's an action to activate that. It doesn't
Yes.
really say, but
Yes, it would be an action.
all right, then he's done.
All right, customer support bot. You see her with the sunlight. She's shying back away. She's got her hands up, trying to cover her eyes.
All right. I think
No, I
I'm gonna,
don't. I'm sorry. No, I don't. That's too loud. Go ahead.
I'm gonna use my action surge so I can move up all the way and do an attack.
Okay.
So,
Action surge to move. He's on it.
well,
He's
I
like,
get 2 attacks. I want to get there. I get my extra attack now, so it
You
shouldn't
can
matter.
move and use your action to double move and then action surge to take your extra attack, 2 attacks, or
Yeah.
you do it the other way around. It's the same. Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to double roll that. Or
Sorry.
is that the advantage?
That's the
advantage.
automatic.
You dropped a 1, and you rolled an 8, a 2.
All right, I'm
You're a
gonna
little
try
stiff.
one more time.
You're a little stiff.
Still coming
Very
back.
bright
There
light.
it is. There it is.
Two-handed great sword smashes into her, and she seems to absorb a bunch of the damage. She's a little hurt, but not too terribly bad. And on her turn, she takes 20 points of radiant damage.
I'm gonna take credit for that.
Move over, Bacon. Now there's something meatier.
And she does not
Sizzling.
regenerate. Let me give that damage back to her. So she would be at, nope. She would be there, as she does not like that at all. And so she casts a spell, and surrounding her to a distance of about 15 feet, these dark shadowy things start swirling all around her, making almost like a maelstrom of these dark shadowy things that are surrounding her and flying all around her. She casts.
As
Go ahead.
Tyrion pulled out the vial, you hear a gasp from the onlookers, and then they start banging their shield in appreciation. And
Absolutely. All right, Quint. Okay, you are not within 15, so go ahead.
And this sunlight, what's the 30? 30? Is that?
You're in bright light right now.
Yeah, but what is the bright light? 30 or 60?
30.
30,
How
30.
tall?
So
How tall is the building? How tall is the dome?
It's not that high up. Maybe 25 feet.
All right, so I'm just gonna back up, so I'm 30 away from the light. So
Okay.
I'm not in bright light, just regular light. So I don't have disadvantage because of my sunlight sensitivity, and I'm gonna shoot at her with a bow.
Okay.
I should have advantage because of fairy fire,
Automatic advantage.
which will give me sneak attack.
Also, the fact that she's surrounded by your
Nanner,
friends.
nanner, nanner. I did 22. And then, that's it. I can't really hide. I'm not in dim light, so, I pass my turn.
All right. So she casts a spell on herself, and the fairy fire disappears. And as a bonus action, the spiritual weapon goes ahead and attacks Blink.
Uh, let's see. Oh, he hits me anyway. I was gonna say because she attacked one of us last did the the thing against Tyrion. Does that mean that my incapacitated stuff goes away?
Let me see that ability.
Or because the this magic thing just attacked me?
Because of the magic thing, yeah. You will get another saving throw. So let me give you that saving throw.
All right, cool.
As it does hit you, which you fail, and take some damage, but you do keep your concentration
On fairy fire.
on fairy fire. Yeah. Is there a I don't have the it's easier on the PC where I have the the effects all automatically loaded up, but that's okay. All right. So Tarian. Oh, that should be gone.
So Tejas, as a priest and the unnamed, is used to maintaining a stoic look and serious during different rites and things that go on. And he's had that blank face the whole time. And then as he sees the smoke coming off of her from the vial and stuff, he smiles for a minute and then takes a deep breath and is back to being stoic again.
All right. So Tyrion, you started your turn there. So you get to make a saving throw as these dark necrotic energy things that are swirling around her
That was
fly.
Blink.
It's Tyrion's turn, right?
Yeah, but Blink. It looks like Blink is the one that made the saving throw.
Oh, she's targeting Blink. What is going on? Come on. Try that again. And Tyrion fails,
Fails either way.
taking 5 necrotic damage. All right, what would you like to do?
All right. So he's holding this vial high in one hand, which is, like not that high because he's pretty short. And then in the other hand, he's got his battle axe, and he is just gonna try and wallop her. He's gonna go ahead and use reckless attack on both of these so that he gets advantage.
All right. He wildly swings, slashing into her hip, kind of cutting a little bit at her belt, and comes back with a backswing. This one's just way over her head. I don't know how that's possible for the halfling, but she
He-
ducks really low.
He jumped first. That's
Yeah. He jumped, she ducked.
Blink is still incapacitated. Yes.
Yes.
All right. And there's no save for that, right? I don't get to.
Not until you take damage.
Okay.
As you poke at her and miss, almost hit Tyrion.
Get her with that one, though. I'm so glad I have an extra attack now. Now I only suck half as much.
All right, Eldritch Cannon.
Oh, so I think I hit next turn just as you did, but
Yeah, it's okay. Blink's incapacitated anyway.
yeah, nothing he can do.
So
He's just standing there, like trying to cower behind his shield, like to protect himself from the light more than from her.
right. She does not like this sunlight, so she is going to take damage from it. And she turns to Tyrion and scowls at him with her bewitching gaze. As he succeeds, so he is not affected by that. And then she takes an attack at him and hits him, and she's biting him. She reaches out and she grabs right onto his shoulder, and he feels the life drain out of him as his hit point maximum is reduced by that amount as well, and he is now grappled. These attacks should have gone in a different order. The scourge would have come first. She whips her scourge at him, hitting him with the scourge, doing some damage, and you feel the scourge barbs tear open a bunch of flesh along Tyrion's chest, kind of messing up a few of the tattoos a little bit. And the wounds start bleeding as blood is now pouring down Tyrion's chest as these open, gaping wounds don't close, they don't stop.
Is your wife listening? Does she know what you're doing to her character? I'm just saying.
It's the distressed look it's in.
Don't worry, I'll tell her later.
Well,
She can watch
Quint
YouTube.
is going to shoot her in the back with an arrow again, but this time he's gonna pull out one of those hyena tooth arrows. I don't have one coded, but I'm gonna shoot it anyways, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. That was the
Uh,
extra D4 or something, wasn't it?
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was an extra D4.
I forgot she didn't have a advantage. I thought I was gonna get advantage.
Nope.
But nothing I could have done about it. So, and I think he would move. I think he's gonna like come around this way. Is he still out of the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? Just trying to stay out of the bright light, so he might be over there somewhere. Oh, I got hung up, I guess.
Customer support bot continues to bash at this thing with his great sword. He needs to
Yeah,
sharpen.
I'm in vampire shredding mode, so it's just swing, 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 constant, like a grain thresher.
He hasn't taken the peel coat off of it yet, though. It's not doing so much slicing damage.
Didn't you have a glaive?
It's mostly
I
bludgeon.
do too. I have both. The glaive is for staying a little bit farther back, but I want the one more point of damage I get on average from this weapon.
It's like slicing a tomato with an axe. You know, it's ugly.
It can work.
I'm also not afraid of being bit, so.
Kink, kink.
All right, Tyrion. He's grappled by this thing, right?
He is latched onto his shoulder. And is biting.
All right. He doesn't like that. He's gonna try to break her grapple.
Okay.
So here's his athletics check for that.
Wow. Vampire's
Okay.
got pretty decent strength, though. I would guess.
Clicked it
Wow.
3 times.
We'll take the first one.
Well, you'll take the first one, and you manage to break the grapple.
All right.
20
Nice.
versus the 16. The third one you wouldn't have, but first one you did.
All right. Well, that was his action to break the grapple. So he is done.
All right. Starting around Quint.
Well, Quint's going to continue moving this direction, staying out of the bright light, and he's going to shoot back at her with an arrow. I'll try another one of those hyena ones.
Alrighty.
And yeah!
That's a hit.
So let me do a d4.
Arrow with giant hyena tooth
So
strapped on.
extra 1 point of damage, which I'll add to the modifier box, and I'll roll damage. Ooh!
This thing flies right into her face and breaks off one of her fangs. Tries to grab the hyena tooth to replace it.
How does it feel to have a tooth stuck in you? Oh wait, I know personally how it feels. And that's my turn.
So as the vampire latches on to Tyrion, there's gasps as from the crowd, and then Tyrion breaks free, and again there's cheering, and then the arrow comes slamming through her. There's some cheering, not quite as much because it's from this dark elf, but they're happy to see the damage done.
As Tyrion continues to bleed from his wounds. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead and finish it.
No, yeah, he's continuing to bleed
Okay.
from his wounds.
All right. She looks pretty weak, so he's gonna continue to go after her, and he actually is even more angered by the fact that she tried to bite him. And he is gonna continue to recklessly attack her, just putting everything into it.
All right. With that, you hit and you slam into her. And as your axe kind of cleaves through into her, it's kind of like the Star Wars movie where the clothes that she's wearing just kind of folds and falls to the ground as a red mist begins arising from where her body was, and it begins flying up towards the ceiling.
I attack the mist.
All right, Tyrion takes his second attack at the clothes laying on the ground and just smashes his axe into the sand.
All right.
Can I target the mist? I mean, I doubt it. But, all right.
All right, you swing and your weapon goes right through the center of where the mist is. You can't really tell that you've hit anything, but you did see the mist wiggle a little bit.
I'll do that one more time because it's fun to hit nothing.
To wiggle a little bit. Wiggle a little bit. Wow.
I crit on a 19 as well. So
66666.
Damn, that's some good.
Wow.
She's slowly continuing to rise up towards the ceiling.
Blink continues to cower and do
Is
nothing.
her spiritual weapon still around?
No, the spiritual weapon disappears.
Right?
Really?
Or is Blink no longer incapacitated?
Blink is no longer incapacitated.
Oh, all right.
Let me remove that.
S-
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does Blink know anything about this like mist and what's going on here? But I don't think he would. Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
You try to harvest it.
Yeah, he'll just take the dodge action just in case.
All right. So she just floats up. She's now up out of the reach of Tyrion.
All right. He is angry that she's out of his reach and just like reaches down and starts throwing handfuls of sand up at her.
Well, as she reaches down and digs through the sand, she finds a potion of healing brought to you by Svenster. Cheater in
Ooh.
the chat.
Thank you, Sven.
That was a while ago when you really needed it.
would I be able to reach that red mist with my glaive still?
She's 25 feet up.
Glaven.
Okay. So I guess I'll try crossbow. And does the extra attack work for ranged too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on,
okay.
on crossbow,
But
though?
not on a crossbow.
Not a crossbow, no.
Okay.
Crossbow has a reload property that prevents you from doing multiples.
Unless you get a magazine. A magazine.
Yeah.
Maybe the Blink can make you a magazine. Holds two crossbows.
I'd like that one.
Oh, I think Quent's gonna start heading that way. The mist, I don't know. I think maybe he'll try to shoot it with a fire arrow? Wait, what's the alchemaic? A liquid contact can be placed on a alchemist fire. He's gonna move up 20 feet using his boots of flying? Winged boots or whatever. But he also wants to move a little forward as he's going up. And then he's gonna shoot at the mist. It's like everybody just trying to get a shot at it. Does it matter? Do you need the shot and all that?
No, you can shoot it and it goes right through her.
Yeah. And I'll erase that one of those arrows. Well, it's alchemaic, so maybe it bursts onto the ceiling and catches the place on fire. I don't. That's not my intention at all. But I'm just.
Get the pillar behind and set that on fire. Blink,
Yes,
you
thank
want to do anything?
Oh, since he's awake now, he will let's see. He sees everybody else like shooting stuff at this mist. So he'll go ahead and shoot a firebolt at it too, just because he doesn't want to be left out.
Okay.
I don't know if it does anything. Do you want me to do an attack roll, John?
No, you're good. You
right.
shoot the firebolt up, and again, it just passes right through this misty form. Doesn't seem to be able to hit anything. It does leave a nice scorch mark along the ceiling, though.
And then a little bit of temporary hit points for those of us who are standing around here.
So as this arrow and the firebolt smashes into the ceiling, you notice there's this beam of light appears as the roof starts to open and the ceiling starts opening up. And you notice that if you look over at Tejas, you see he's opening the roof.
And
And
as
the crowd is going wild and cheering. And patting each other on the back. Money is changing hands. Beer is being drunk.
Everybody's going absolutely nuts as the roof slowly opens and this mist kind of flies up and seems to shudder for a little bit and then dissipates completely as it is utterly destroyed.
That's probably a good time to take a break.
Yeah, and we'll push you one of those.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a break and come back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so I am going to put on a slideshow for you guys. So let me get a timer going. And we'll be back. Talk to you in a little bit. We still are down 5 of our 6 cameras for some reason, but at least fortunately we've got Jeremiah's got the customer service box mask on. That thing's like creepy as hell looking. Yikes. But we're back from break, another hour and 15 minutes or so, and Matakiri's going to take it away.
All right. So you guys have managed to destroy the vampire priestess, and as Tegas said, the entire place just starts going nuts. They are cheering. They are. Everybody is pouring drinks and getting drunk, and it looks like they were about to have just a giant party. And in the middle of all of this, Jagoda steps out and nods at you with a respectful nod. You have proven resourceful. I think you will be capable. I think you will be capable. But rest. Enjoy your festivities, and then we can sit once we've gone quiet. Once it's gone quiet, and we can talk. And she points at Quint and says, "Are you ready now?"
My adrenaline is flowing now. Would be great.
She begins casting a spell, and this column of radiant light comes straight down from heaven and surrounds you and just incinerates you in a single hit, and burns you with radiant light as you feel this energy penetrate through your body, and then this finger bone inside you sizzle and burn and then vaporize. You fall to the ground dead as immediately clerics come running over and start casting heal spells on you. And a few minutes later, you are back up and ready to rock. Everybody, I'm going to give everybody a long rest because it won't matter at this point. So you no longer have the ghoul's finger in your chest.
Nice.
With that long rest, is Tyrion back to max hit points?
Yes.
Okay.
Does he get to keep the finger?
It's vaporized. He can keep the hole in his heart where it was lodged, but
I don't need another character that's carrying around a finger. I got one in Deadlands already. It's a pinky finger. He chopped it off to it.
so after the celebrations go on for a few hours and people start tiring out, Jagoda takes you back into a back room. This one's a little bit nicer, private, and she invites you to sit and have a little bit longer, more detailed discussion over what you are going to be doing from here on out. She sits down with a map and unfurls it onto the table. And let me just share the map with you. And she says, the holy robes, this sacred relic of Sif, is being held by an order of our shield maidens. Um, the sorry, they moved it all over the place. So she describes to you that it belongs to an order of knights called the Spear Maidens of Hope. They use the teardrop symbol, the snowdrop, as their symbol. And she points to the book that you have, the Tree of Knowledge, with the same snowdrop symbol on it, and says that that book is something that they would recognize as a symbol to others of who you are and who you serve. They currently hold the holy robes of Sister Adelind and have been using it in their fight against the undead. Unfortunately, they are currently deep in the Greater Duchy of Morgau. They are gathering at a place called Yarrowsburg, where Sister Adelind was killed. And they are gathering together, it should be in just a few weeks now. They will meet at Yarrowsburg in order to celebrate and commemorate the anniversary of St. Adelind's death, of her martyrdom. So if you wish to recover it, that would be your best bet. That would be the most likely way. Regardless, getting there is going to be difficult because it is in the heart of Morgau, the country of the undead. Here on the map, and she shows you, let me see if that's visible to you. Her recommendation is you are currently here in Jost. There is a smaller road which heads south towards Wallenberg. That was a castle that was destroyed some years ago when Krakova fell.
Oh.
And Wallenberg, I highly recommend that you skip around Wallenberg and stick to smaller roads or smaller cities and towns. The larger ones may be more dangerous as the vampires and stuff rule them more controllingly. From there, you can follow along and then work your way down to Yarrowsburg. There are a number of paths that can take you there. As you are as you're traveling, you may be able to find help in some of the smaller towns, especially with that book, that symbol. Some of them may recognize it and understand who you are, but also beware that some of the people have accepted their new masters and may turn on you, turn against you. So be careful who you trust as you travel.
Quint's going to. Do we basically kind of have this map we're looking at?
You roughly have. You don't have a picture copy of it, but you roughly know the major roads.
What if we took the river from here south?
We're going. That would be upstream.
That would be going upstream, and that would take you through the swamp. It would
Oh,
be difficult.
This is lower land here. I thought this was like mountainous.
It flows to the ocean, so it flows from the mountain areas to the ocean.
Uh,
It's doable, but it would be difficult. Um, I do have one other thing that I would request that you look into as you are traveling, um, as it is along the way. She says that some of the information that they've gathered from that vampire priestess is that there's a new threat seems to be rising in the region around the village of Carvolia, and it's not on this map, but it's on that orange road heading southward, several days' journey away. The
coughing. Joking. You weren't even doing a dwarf voice. Frog.
Yeah, something I don't know. Um, she says that what we were able to get out of her was that there is a new threat um, arising within that region, and it has something to do with the vampires and becoming more powerful. Um, so, if you are going to travel along the road, at least for a few days, I would request that you investigate and see if you can learn what this new threat is, and if possible, eliminate it. Can't hear you, Drake.
Hello? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I guess Quint's going to get the details on the city and stuff.
Carvolia is just a small village, um, and it's several days journey south, like maybe 4 days or so along that short road. Each hex on the map is a 24 miles, so it's a full day's journey. It's about 4 days south of where you are, and it really is not much of a there's not much there. It's a small town, small village. It's kind of in the woods, so they supply uh, harvested woods and stuff for building supplies. But that's the only information she can provide about the town.
And is there someone there that we need to speak to, or?
She doesn't know. She just knows that the information they got out of the vampire priestess indicated that it was in or around that region. There was something happening there.
Like a carnival?
Something that was making the vampires more powerful.
Something
And they were
is on the wing.
concerned. Now there may be other people that know more, but that's all the information she.
Do we know where we can get more of the sunlight potions?
There's only one. You can use it once a day.
Well, Quint's like, well, I think we need, if we're going vampire hunting, we should go and get a little more prepared. Or at least have the ability to keep them from healing themselves. I think we've become a little more familiar with the vampires. So what do we know that keeps them from radiant? We're pretty sure of, right? Obvious. What about, is there anything else we know? Fire? Does fire prevent?
Fire does not prevent them from regenerating.
How about the cantrip?
Give me an Arcana check.
Quint?
Whoever.
Wink. With a +9. Nice.
Blink. Okay, so you've heard of vampires a little bit, and you know that they, of course, vulnerable to radiant damage. Um, it stops their vampiric regeneration from working. There's a few other things that that can affect it as well. Um, they are harmed by running water. So if you can trap them in running water, they take damage. Obviously, the stake to the heart, sunlight, holy water uh, can do it. If they take even one hit point of damage from that, from either source, running water, radiant, sunlight, then their regeneration capabilities completely shut down for that turn.
I don't know, running water, that makes Quint's River idea sound a little bit better.
Row, row, row your boat gently up the stream. Can we? Do you?
Get to the
do you-
river after
so-
you've investigated the area.
Yeah, Quint's gonna look at customer service bot and says, "Do you have a friend named Evinrude or something?
I have no friends.
A cousin, Evinrude?"
I have 1 million cousins.
Serial number 44326. Can I ask her?
Does Tegas actually ask Quint to ask that? I mean, the note you sent me, Sven?
Well, that was
It's-
before he said we had the book.
Oh, okay.
So the book will do that. The book prevents us from having to do another fight in order to get the bones, correct? Or I mean the robes.
What do you mean?
So since the Temple of Sif is holding these robes that we need
The
from the dead.
Sif is not. The Shield Maidens of Hope, the Spear Maidens of Hope, are currently have them, and they are gathering together at Yarrowsburg for.
Okay, of hope. All right. And so and the book will allow us to.
So the book is a kind of like holy scripture for them. They will. It's recognizable as a symbol that they are of the same members, the group. Uh, i- people like the Krakowian rebels would see that as a symbol that you're someone that could be trusted. It's people who are fighting against them, the undead, would take sympathy with anybody showing that book.
Now, would I know? Well, I think Tegas would know. Is there a way for the high priestess to give us like a letter with her seal, or um, an arrow with her seal on it, or something that shows that we have the support of the high priestess of the Temple of Sif from up?
Sure, she could give you a letter of introduction. She'd be happy to write something. You can go ahead and add that to your inventory. A letter of introduction from Jagoda.
All right, Quint, do you want me to hold on to it? Do you want it?
No, I think it'd be appropriate for you to hold on to it. Quint's like,
Okay.
no, you can be the official bearer of that.
I can generate a QR code if you prefer.
What's a QR code?
Oh, let me tell you about it for 5 hours.
They scrimp scampi, scrimp salad, scrimp.
Blink is fascinated by everything.
I just stared up with those puppy eyes.
Or as my people say, 011 0011 0011 0011 0. I have no idea if that's anything.
Quint's gonna, misty step out of the room to anywhere other than there, just to be gone.
Right, sunlight. All right. So you guys wrap up. It's getting on towards the evening. You've spent a full day at the Temple of Sif. You've gathered up all the information you can from them. So is the plan to rest and head out in the morning, or you gonna head out at night, or?
Well,
I would like to
first,
find a
oh,
Tegas.
Okay, they're certainly available. There's been enough Krakovan rebels who have escaped from the region that they are for sale here. You can find one uh, in a weapons store.
And is
They're
there
available in the comprehensive equipment manual.
who just? I mean, Quint's been wandering around a little bit around the city. Does he feel comfortable trying to find a rebel cell or something here? I would think we're close to where there would be a rebel cell, maybe.
I think it's very highly likely there are. Yeah.
Is there a sign like hang a white sock off your left foot or something to?
Yeah, there's a few signs you can initiate, and if there's a rebel cell in the area, they'll contact you. So you can go out and put out some feelers, and if there are anybody, they will contact you probably during the night.
Put an X in the window with masking tape.
No, I think it would be to put a white mouse and an empty glass on the bar, maybe. I don't know, something.
And then drown it with beer.
No, just upside down.
Oh,
Let it suffocate.
let her.
You want a mouse? I can get you a mouse.
We used to have one in the party. It was kind of handy. That's pretty good, actually. At least the stream could see it tonight. He didn't have to wait till we got the camera.
I should have just made filters of all you guys so that I could have just played your parts. It would have looked this good the whole time with John's face.
That's scary.
Mine would just be a cowl over my face. You wouldn't even see it. Maybe shiny eyes or something.
I'd purposely misalign Sven so it'd be like one eye here, but the other eye would be a die. It'd just be this horrible.
Nice. All right, so you put out the signs. What is that? You put out the signs for your rebel network, and during the night, you are contacted. Actually, somebody knocks on your window and sneaks through your window in the middle of the night.
Sneak attack.
And it's a little halfling dude, and he kind of climbs through the window and looks at you.
Quint says, "If you're here to steal from me, you have making a grave mistake." As he starts to slide his short sword out of his sheath.
The little halfling dude looks up at you and says, "You're the one who left the mouse on the bar table, right?"
I'll just crack it open enough to get a little light coming off the moon sword, so I can see his face and stuff.
Okay. You see his face. He looks like a short little halfling. He's got white hair, so he's looks a little older than maybe you were expecting, and kind of an aged face. But he looks pretty spry and limber, and he certainly didn't seem to have any issues sneaking through the window.
Quint says, "My name is Quint, and I put the mouse on the table."
Is
My
that a saying where you're from?
Yeah. You have to confirm.
My-
You have to confirm.
my name is of no consequence. I'm here to collect the mouse.
I understand of no consequence. Let
What
me
would
get
you
some
like?
clothes on.
That is not necessary. I'm enjoying the view. What would you like to know from the Krakovan Rebel Network? Here
It's
in
not exactly what I need to know. It's more that we need your help.
Okay.
We have a journey ahead of us, and we need to be quick and stealthy. We need to get to Jarlsberg. Can the rebels help us?
Yarrowsburg. You're really heading into the lion's den, as they say.
Yes, and I think if we had some ability to mask ourselves, perhaps give us the appearance that we are of undead, may come in handy on occasion.
We have no way of doing that. That would be a handy skill to have, but it's not something that that we're practiced with. There are rebels throughout the region, um, though. You might be able to get help along the way. What
Perhaps
what path are you traveling?
we haven't decided a path yet. That's also why I've contacted the mice. If there is a safer route than wandering blindly through Krakovar, would be helpful. We considered traveling upriver.
The rivers would keep you away from most of the population centers, but they have their own dangers, of course, when traveling on the rivers. Um, there really isn't any barge services or any boats that travel upriver there.
Doesn't sound like we can row it either.
It
In a
it
rowboat.
might maybe from Warsaw, you might be able to ride on the river Yoshitula for some ways, but
If does Quint know? I mean, he's obviously a the shadow elf, the shadow fae, and he knows of the shadow roads. We know we can pick up the shadow roads over here in the stone galleries, right?
correct.
But do we know from like Tannisburg if the shadow roads travel this direction?
Uh, you know, your family was at Wallenberg, right? When was it Wallenberg or Tannenberg that your family was with when they escaped? Thought it was Wallenberg.
No, Tannenberg Castle. This one.
Tannenberg. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know there's a way there, but the shadow roads through Morgau are extremely dangerous. The undead infest them as well. There are not clear pathways. There's one that goes from Wallenberg to Courtlandia that kind of cuts through, but nothing really that comes from where you're at down.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. If we backpedaled this way, we could come at least down here. But to me, it seems better the way it's kind of marked on the orange. But we got to avoid Wallenberg, right? Completely.
Yeah, I mean, she had recommended that when you get closer to Wallenberg, you know cut across.
Right.
and
And that
that was
little town we got to go to somewhere about halfway down or something.
yeah, it's like 4 days roughly
Yeah.
there.
Well, we could get to that town and just, completely cross country it. I don't know. Quint's not a country elf. You know what I mean? He's
Not,
more of a
not a
city kind
wilderness.
of. Yeah, he's more of a city kind of guy. And I don't see
Yeah,
anybody in the party that really would want to just totally be in the middle of nowhere.
Tyrion could.
Yeah, Tyrion would probably be happy to do that.
He's the
I
only
don't
one I
know.
can think of.
Tyrion's kind of a halfling, though. He's probably getting kind of used to having his belly full, not have to hunt for it.
I have no strong opinions at all, or either way.
You just don't keep
Blink,
him
on the
in.
other
Just don't
hand,
put you back on the box, right? Don't put you back on the box.
Blink, on the other hand, he doesn't even really like that we're outside of the city ever. So
Prefer to be back in Zone.
So in Joust, is there any restrictions on equipment? Can we get anything in a player's handbook?
Yeah, anything player's handbook.
Potions of healing and climbing included?
Yep.
What about, is there any chances of trying to find any kind of magical items?
Sure. Let me.
Wands of radiant damage? Can we get one? Can we get one of those?
I also want to see if there's any books on or scrolls on undead and how to identify them and what they do and things like that.
Okay. Not magical scrolls, but just regular
Right,
information.
Volo's Guide to Undead.
Okay. Okay. That shouldn't be too hard. There's a number of very experienced folk here. I have a shop thing. Where is it? Here we are. So in the shops, you should be able to access anything that's marked with the town. So
Town size stuff, huh?
yeah, this is a fairly good sized town now.
Oh, you have a list already put together. Nice.
Yep.
there's a
I'm gonna
scroll
just
tube in the party sheet. Can
store
we
that over
sell
here.
that?
Yep.
Wait, before you sell, let's talk about this rapier. I don't really see Quint liking the thing, quite honestly.
You can sell it.
But before he volunteers to sell it, is there anybody that would actually want to wield it? Or do you think
I
it
don't
would be
think that
better
Quinn
off
can.
as liquidator brunt?
What kind of weapon is it? Is it a martial weapon?
It's a rapier.
But it's magical.
Yeah.
So it would help if you don't have a magical weapon.
I don't, and I was doing garbage damage.
And it
I might as
deals
well have a
deals
toothpick.
extra D6 radiant damage to a creature that it hits. So and it keeps things from shape changing. So I definitely could see it attached to the bot's arm as a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or a
that's pretty good.
codpiece.
Let me throw that back in the party sheet in
Your
the
cod piece.
inventory. It wasn't ID'd on my sheet, so you might want to hit the ID button for him.
Okay.
There.
Thank you.
Now that carved wooden scroll tube does have 2 spell scrolls of greater restoration in it. Did you take those Tegas?
I took one. I
You
think took
okay.
the other, right?
All right, I'll sell that scroll tube then.
What is there anything else that we need to dump into there? I don't think Quint doesn't have like the bag of holding, so he's not lugging any extra crap around.
Yes, I have a scroll of Greater Restoration.
Quint, I've got a couple of those teeth that I'm not going to use anymore. If you want them, I can drop them in the party sheet.
Well,
the-
I've got them on my sheet. I could just change the amount over here too, make it easy.
I have 3, so you can have all of them.
Did you code them?
I did.
As an item? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them to me. Because I don't have my
Oh
coded.
no, sorry, I didn't add them to the item. No, I
You just did it on your inventory, on your action tab.
Yeah. Sorry.
How many do you got? And I'll just change
3.
the amount. 3. I can find them on my damn sheet.
So, Matt, if you drag it to the spell list, wouldn't you then be able to then drag it back, the action back over?
Yeah. If the coding complex, if it's just adding 1d4.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it's not. I mean, I don't use them that often anyway, so it's not worth the coding. I just roll a d4 and then add whatever I roll to the modifier box and roll damage.
Yeah.
If I crit, then I'll have to do 2d4 or whatever. But
am I able to get the Tega enchanted, or is there a +1 Tega available?
So under magic weapons store, +1 weapon any, 600 gold.
keep in mind that we've got almost 1,600 gold pieces party wide. If you guys come up with a brilliant plan to get a magical item that the whole party can pitch in on, Quint would be willing to donate his share. Something that we absolutely need.
Like an alchemy jug?
We have an alchemy jug. Doesn't every party have an alchemy jug? Bracers of archery. Nice.
Potion of climbing.
+2
How many of
bonus
those
to
can we
damage
carry?
roll.
5.
Unlimited amount of bracers of archery. We can get some halflings and load them up in here. Come on.
I'd like to buy a staff of bird calls, please.
Oh yes, that's awesome. Wake us up every morning with the crow, with the rooster.
That is a thing. That's funny.
Can you
You also get the wand of blasting.
Can you sort your towns by value so we can just look at? I only have 200 gold. I don't want to see anything 200 and under.
Oh, you want to sort the shop by cost?
Yeah. Oh, anything over 200 gold I can't afford anyway. So it's just
Right.
Can you make a personal shopper script, and I can just put in my preferences, my size, what colors I like, and it'll go out there and buy the armor I want.
Can you do all the shopping for me, John?
I'm gonna
Actually, I
buy
gotta go. Can you run my character real quick?
I'm gonna buy the potion of climbing out of the shop because this is cheaper than out of the player's handbook. It's only 36 gold a year.
Yes, the shops are scaled according to a different set of rules than the DMG, so that are a little more internally consistent. It's from a product called the Discerning Merchant's Price Guide that I implemented. So it's things like potions of flying are not more expensive than boots of flying. It fixes those kinds of issues.
Why is a cloak of billowing 120 gold? That's ridiculous.
Because it just looks so.
It billows. Hey, when you get 50,000 gold on your character, you're gonna be like, I'm not buying that cheap ass shit, right? So it's all
See,
relative.
but once Blink puts it on, then the storekeeper is just going to be so filled with awe that he'll give it to you for less. It's made for you.
So Quint, who can fly, is buying potions of climbing.
Hey, you
You never
never
know.
know when you need a horse to climb or some shit, you know?
Spider pig, spider
See,
pig.
right? Right? Or bacon, we need to get to the top of the mountain. Come on, drink this potion. For 36 gold, it sounded like a good investment.
The mouse who was talking with you tells you that if you're heading south on the road, watch out for Sister Alcava.
Who? How do we watch
We've
out for her? Does she
we've
have
been
a-
hearing rumors of a new blood priestess named Sister Alcava to the south of here, and she's been experimenting on extending the Shroud Eater's ability to preserve and store blood. Um, she's also gaining some kind of power from this blood, and it's making the vampires in the region more powerful. So keep an eye out, avoid her if possible.
So the Scorpion Stiletto says cost varies. How much am I able to get for those?
Let me look.
And the same thing for the Fool's Scepter. There's no cost on it.
Yeah, the Fool's
Fool's
Scepter doesn't
Scepter.
have a cost. Was a item from a Nilbog.
Yeah, but I need 300 gold. So I'm going through getting rid of all this stuff that I can possibly do.
Well, Quint has some cash that he's willing to help out with. How much cash does he have on him?
Tyrion
He
has
bought-
like 300 gold that he suddenly feels very generous about.
And
I already owe Tyrion money, so that's why I'm surreptitiously sneaking around the city, selling all this stuff, trying to get some
It's pretty
gold.
funny.
So those 4 things are stuck in the party sheet have no cost.
Candle of Visions. That's common. So common, we'll just leave it at 50. That's what all the common ones tend to go for. The Fool's Scepter, you may get 25 gold for it because it's such a weird thing. It can only be attuned by goblins. So I'll set a price on that.
Can display it.
I can display it, but who would want a goblin's scepter?
Who wouldn't? Have Blink hold it while he's got his cloak of billowing on.
Right, Candle of Visions and the Scorpion Stilettos. I don't know where that comes from. Is that a Midgard World Book thing?
I
I
think
think
they
so.
came from the rat folk that died.
Yeah, I think it was the dearly departed.
Yeah, I meant which source book. Let me see if it's in. I'll have to look for that one. I don't know what it means when it says varied. It doesn't give any. Oh, that's why. Because it's depending on you to just negotiate. So I'll say 10 gold piece each.
What? Okay. How about
They're not
300
magic.
for all 4 things? We'll call it even.
300 for all 4. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
And I'll bless you in the name of Civ.
These
Uh,
daggers are not. Let me sell all of this.
It said spell, first level. Oh no,
What
it is a
is?
All right,
cantrip.
so I got 60 gold, so I
I
only
was
need 240 now.
talking to Valtrix.
All right. Any more shopping?
Oh, and then I have this chalice. It doesn't have a price on it either.
Chalice. Oh, your chalice of forbidden ecstasies.
Oh, this is a good town to sell that in. All these dwarves.
Yeah, a chalice for the blood goddess Morena being sold in Jost, who's right on the border of the undead town, the undead kingdom. So uncommon puts it at 51 to 250 range.
I thought that was common.
No, comments 50.
So
Common's
is
50.
the temple willing to either mine or Rava willing to pay for the enchantment of the weapon if I help give them this to destroy?
They'll pay to heal you, but they're not going to pay for you to buy weapons. I mean, they'll invest in keeping you alive, but they're not going to just spend money so that you can get magic weapons and leave.
Apparently, there's some kind
Can
of
I
trust
see
issues going on there, I guess.
if customer service bot can add an addendum to the letter we got from the priestess? P.S.
I'm not great at forgery, but I can try.
All right, so I'm up to 200 gold. Woohoo! I mean 185. I don't know where the other 20 came from, but
That was already in the party sheet.
all right.
All
So
right.
I guess I'll have to go groveling back to Tyrion again for another 125.
You can have my gold. I don't use it really.
There you go.
Robot. I prefer.
thought
Awesome.
he
So if
was-
you have 125, that'll put me at 300, and then with the 300 I have,
I thought he was
I'll
going
be
to
able to
change
get
out
that
that
plus one
tooth right
Tegas.
there.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one.
I have 168. I'll just
The tooth
do
right
whatever.
there. Make it gold.
All right. Blink finds a hat of vermin and he really wants it, but isn't sure that
Is it
that's worth
actually
buying.
made with vermin skin? Like, is it got vermin fur on it? Like rat fur?
No. It there you go. I put it in the chat there. It summons random vermin.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
what
a
does it look like? It's made out of rat fur, isn't it? It's like a rat fur.
Yeah. It absolutely has to be.
Well, that's absolutely. It's in an homage to our fallen comrade. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it.
I don't think Blink can resist that. So he's gonna buy that.
Yeah, Blink's got 500 in gold. He can afford it.
So you can subtract 180 from the party sheet.
Okay.
Would I mean? Could he eat one if he? I mean, just you know.
Oh yeah, that's his like whole idea here is that now he doesn't have to like go searching for them. He can just pull a rat out and like eat it.
Right, but after you eat it, it's like Chinese food. You're hungry in an hour. I mean, is that because it disappears?
And you eat
Even-
another.
So I
You just
picture it. I picture it like it. It's like pointy, like a witch's or wizard's hat, and Blink is now wearing this hat, and
Conical,
exactly
fur-lined.
like this would be the height of kobold fashion in Zobek.
It's got to have the flaps that you can cover your ears when it's cold and tie it.
It constantly has that rat piss smell to it. It's pretty distinctive,
Oh yeah.
especially when it gets rained on. I think we collected all the information we need here, right? We need to go back to the south, but deeper into the Grand Duchy of Morgau to a Spear Maiden of Hope gathering at Yarsburg, which can we ask like why the hell they're meeting at this spot? Did they tell us that?
Yes, Yarrowsburg is the location where Sister
Oh
Adeline
yeah,
was
that's right.
and they're gathering together to commemorate the anniversary of that.
Well, how are all those people getting there? Can we go that way? Can we go with them?
They're already in Morgau. They're working basically undercover to fight against the undead from within Morgau, and so they're gathering together to hold that commemoration, and then they'll go back to fighting against the undead.
Can we put like dead bodies on our dead skins on us and act like zombies?
Now, thing to remember about Morgau and about this entire region, most of the living things that you encounter most of the creatures that you encounter are not undead, right? Undead rule, and there are significantly more undead in the region than in the rest of Midgard, but most of the towns are full of normal people because they keep them as food stock. So the towns are highly subjugated food stock for the undead. So most of the region is still normal.
Lunch.
Exactly. Lunch for vampires, lunch for ghouls, lunch for ghasts and wights and all of those other things.
Yeah, so I think everyone's kind of in agreement that we're just gonna, cut south towards Wallenberg and then clip the corner by a couple days, and then
Okay.
head that way. We would probably take a peek and see if there was a barge or something maybe into Jarlsberg from Warszawa. But if not, then we'll just
It's a
follow.
little hard to see, but there is a road that goes from Warszawa south to here. And like if I hide the orange, you can kind of see there's a black road that goes down and then cuts up to Yarrowsburg.
So
But that's not a river. The river comes
the river
south
goes
to the
that way, yeah.
other
I see it.
direction. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll just put some wheels on the barge and go down the road, I guess.
There's River Runnel that's a little north of Yarrowsburg, kind of right here. This
Can we just rent a boat and row around in a pond just so we get on the water? I don't know why I keep wanting to get on the water. We're just walking.
rent a boat and sail to Skogarholm. or sail around the Cape to get to Krakowa City.
No.
No, and then take the road straight south from
No,
the
I think
cap.
What the hell?
Scroll of Bestow Curse.
Nice. 192 gold. Cha-chang.
All right, so everybody's all purchased up. You're ready to head south towards Carvolia. And then on to Yarrowsburg. Close all that.
Would you put the name of the high priestess in the chat? I closed the picture,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
please.
Why does it still
Hi-
show on the inventory that I have the Moonsteel weapon? That's weird. Do I need to close it and reopen it? I don't know.
The Moon Touch short sword?
No, the Moonsteel weapon, it says that I still have it.
I'm looking at your character sheet and I don't see it.
No, I'm talking in the party sheet. Party inventory sheet.
Oh, that,
Like
yeah,
it didn't
that may,
update or something.
there, check it again. I just rebuilt it.
Oh, it all changed to...
Shows for customer support bot for me now.
Yeah, it looks like it's gone.
Yeah, it doesn't update that on the player's end. I actually have a button I have to click to rebuild party inventory.
Why is that? Is there something you're running that does that, or?
No, it's just how it is. I don't know. It's not tracking as automatically.
When I
my-
DM, that I should be pushing said button once in a while.
Potentially, I don't know how often or what triggers it to update, but all right. So you guys finish up. You've all had a long rest, so you're all good there. And you guys start heading out out of Jost and heading south into Morgau. Travel is relatively straightforward the first couple of days, but after about 2 days of travel, you've now entered into the kingdom of Morgau, and you can feel it just kind of in the air. It feels like this oppressive weight is upon you as you are traveling through the region. And it doesn't take you terribly long, a few days more, to get near where you were told the region or the village of Carvolia is. And after traveling through, kind of staying off the side of the roads, keeping fairly well hidden, you do see this small village up ahead. Um, and there's people milling about working, but everybody looks quite pale, and people are not moving terribly quickly. Um, People are just kind of skins a little saggy, and everybody's looking very thin.
Is this like during the sunlight, kind of in the daytime, kind of thing?
Midday. Midday.
Why do we have to travel
As
during
soon
the
as whenever
day?
we stop, I'm going to be practicing with my new weapon. Also, I'm going to be so incorporating some of the forms I had been practicing all along now with the weapon. And then I'm also going to be studying the 2 books, the one she gave us, to see what there's anything of interest in this holy scriptures, and then studying the book of undead facts, so I can recognize the undead when we come across them and what their main, who drains what and stuff like that.
All right. You go ahead and study through those along the journey. So when it comes up, I'll give you the information. Anything are you going to stop at the town, or are you just passing on through?
Oh, I thought we were like peeking over the ridge and see the town down below, kind of.
Yeah, you can. The town's a distance away, and you're kind of taking a look at it.
Do you think we should like try to sneak into town? Wait till nightfall?
So, what do we know of this culture? I mean, are they ruled by an iron thumb? Is there an information network that we know of? I mean, would the higher ups know that if we're traveling through these different towns? Would
More
somebody know? Tell them.
as a kingdom is ruled largely by pockets of vampires that control the larger cities, and they keep populations of people as feeding stock around those cities. So the larger areas would be certainly heavily controlled. Any large population center will be heavily under the thumb of some powerful vampires or other undead creatures. Smaller places are kind of there may be lesser things that are controlling them. There may not be. There may be something that's more widespread controlling the region, but it's not like a well-run empire, you know,
Of
with
the
law.
ghouls.
Yeah, it's not like there's lots of communication. There's a lot of backbiting and infighting amongst the vampires as well.
And this town specifically had. What was the problem here? I forgot.
So Jagoda told you that there was something happening in the region which was helping the vampires become stronger. And you found out from the Krakovan rebel that there was a sister Alcava, a blood priestess that has been experimenting to preserve and store the fresh blood and strengthen it so that when vampires drink it, it makes them stronger. You were encouraged to investigate by both Jagoda and your your Krakovan rebels urged you to stay away from her.
And after Tyrion's being bitten by the vampire, do we see him acting strange over the next couple of days?
No, he was fully healed by the temple.
I'll actually drip holy water on him a couple times throughout the week
Oops.
just to make sure.
Trips ago. Oh, did my holy tea spill on you?
Wet again.
He gets really mad every time you do it.
He tries to get mad. He struggles a little bit.
So, is this town that we're looking at? What'd you say was the name?
Arvolia.
Carvolia.
Ars.
Ravioli. Is it French? Does it look like there's like an inn or anything? I mean,
Absolutely. There is so as you looking into town, it's not a very big town. It's kind of small. There is a single tavern that has smoke coming out of the chimney. And outside of town, you can see from a ways away, there's a pathway that leads outside of town and heads up, and there is a large building up there. It's this giant, massive stone structure with Gothic flourishes decorating the walls. But that's up
Ah,
a little bit a ways.
does it look like a
that
keep?
would seem to be our target.
Does it look like
Uh,
a keep up on the hill or like a?
it almost looks like an old temple of sorts.
Well, I think we should maybe at least get a bite to eat and investigate from afar before we just wander up there and knock on the door.
Yes, but I think whoever's up there will know and will be told strangers are in town. I say we wait until dawn and then go over there. Hopefully the beast will be asleep when we find it.
You want to camp in the woods at night in a dud-fested area? Huh. Okay.
With cannot be any worse than the shadows of the shadow.
And well, I'm not so sure about that. So I guess we'll find a place to camp for the night. Not.
Okay.
Quinn keeps looking over the hill to the inn. It looks like there's vacancies. You know, he'll make comments every now and then. It's
Point
You
some
don't
out.
really-
whacking at some branches to make a camp in the woods.
Maybe they have a closet I could sleep in.
Yeah, you can sleep in that log over there. Looks like you can hollow the
What does
inside
Tyrion
out.
want to do?
Oh yeah, Tyrion is more than happy to stay outside, even with the threat of the undead. He prefers it out here as opposed to indoors.
I'm the only one not on the menu, so I'm fine.
So
Come,
it's
let
two
us
against
cast
one.
lots.
It's 2 against 1. And a.
We can cast lots to see what do we do.
Everybody roll a d20, and whoever rolls highest gets to pick.
I hope it's me.
He rolled a 20. Yeah.
All right, camping outdoors. Looks like
Well, I think we were camping outdoors via vote, anyways.
nobody broke a 10.
So is there?
And so we can go back about an hour outside of back away from town,
Yeah.
and then
What's the area
find
like? Is
somewhere
it
else.
heavily wooded, or is there any
Heavily-
hills? Is there a chance we could find like a cave or something?
Potentially, yeah. It's a heavily wooded area. The stone building that you saw was elevated up on a hill. It's kind of overlooking the town. But you can easily pull back an hour or so away, and there's plenty of heavy, dense forest that you will be able to find places to hide and camp in.
If possible, we want to try to find running water, if any creeks or raging rivers are close by.
I haven't
No.
peed in 3 days. I've been waiting for a vampire to jump out.
I am only water resistant, not waterproof.
Do you rust if you stay in too long?
Yeah, and more than 3 feet down, the pressure pushes it into my sensitive parts, and then your warranty is ruined.
So yeah, you can certainly camp out. Let's see if it's only midday. Are you guys gonna do
Well,
anything
I
for the
think.
day?
I think the whole since it's midday, I think Quint would say, let's do a perimeter check of the town and all around. Try to scope out the whole area, and maybe get a little bit closer look at the fish plant on the hill, so to say. Find a safe place to camp for the evening. I would be okay a little earlier than, dark to go find a place to. Just get the area all laid out real good, familiarized.
Okay.
How
So
many
you take
how
some.
many people do we see? Does it look like this are in this town, roughly?
You would guess maybe somewhere between 3 and 500. It's a small village.
And are they on a little trade route? What supports this town?
They are a logging town. They log wood, and then they ship out carts of wood to other towns nearby. There's not a lot of agriculture. There's a few small fields and stuff here and there. More subsistence farming. You expect that they do have to trade for a lot of their food. They all look fairly poor. You don't see any guards like around the town. You don't see anybody even carrying a weapon at all.
And do we see any particular building that looks more protected from sunlight than others?
No, all of the buildings are pretty ramshackle. They're not been maintained terribly well.
No blackout curtains anywhere.
Right. No aluminum foil somewhere?
No, none of them.
Camp? Camp?
There is one tavern where people tend to come and go. You do see people stopping by, but it's not a lot of business. There you'd expect maybe 10 people at any given time are visiting that tavern.
And
So
what
it's not
about travelers through the town? How often do we see?
very few, very few. Just on the road in general, you see very few travelers. Most
Just the
people,
logging wagons?
yeah, just the logging wagons that are shipping goods. Here in Morgau, most of the area is fairly locked down. The undead don't want their feeding stock wandering off or escaping, so they keep a pretty tight rein on travel between cities.
How do they do that? Do we know?
Uh, Roving bands of undead that eat travelers.
That'll probably do it. That'll probably do it. So is there like a curfew?
With
You can
courage.
only don't travel at all. That's the rule.
Don't
No
travel at all.
travel.
If you get by the pack of 15 ghouls.
Can you get a I can travel pass? Like a certificate of travel that we could forge, something like that.
Intelligent undead might accept that. Ghouls, not so much. Or
Can we spray ourselves with bitter
uh,
apples so they don't like to chew on us because they try and it tastes bad?
Well, maybe if we all become undead, then we can travel.
there you go.
Well, you were bitten already.
Tyrion already tried.
I used to be human. You could do what I did and have your soul ripped out of your body and put into a small crystal, then become a slave.
That sounds not interesting at all.
So did we find out any information on our travel? Is there any information you were particularly looking for, Quint?
No, I mean, Quint, I think is good.
You've kind of scouted out the area. You might be able to get more information in town, but that's kind of the rough
Well, no,
scout
I
of it.
got the impression with Tigus's 20 that he doesn't want to go into town and alert anyone that we're there, so.
Right.
So he doesn't. Quint's not going to go into town. I mean, he could stealthily sneak around town, but what's he risking that for? There's no biscuit. There's no biscuit here.
You don't know.
If you want to go to the tavern, a lone traveler may not. We can watch from here to see if any ravens or any people go up to the keep. You can
Oh,
see if you can talk to the townspeople.
when the sun goes down, I can move about town freely, and no one would probably know I was there.
Right, but we want you to talk to the people to get information, don't we?
Perhaps if I see somebody worthy of the talking to. Where should I bury the bodies? I mean, if they don't talk.
It doesn't
They
matter where.
typically talk less when they're bodies.
Well, how far away are we camping? An hour? Quint's got to go an hour away. Yeah? I mean, it's okay. He's cool with it. I'm just giving you the.
He can
I'll
fly.
be back. Somebody has to take my watch tonight.
Well, this will be a good spot to end for tonight. It's 11 o'clock, so you can think about what you want to do, how you want to approach this city, this town.
Cool. So I'm pretty much on schedule for now. So this is a every other week session. So that's going to take us to the 23rd, which I think I'm going away the week of the 26th, doing something, but I haven't planned it perfectly yet. I have no clue. I just want to go do something, so I may go see my mom in Georgia. But the 23rd, we're good to go. Tomorrow night over on Rob's stream, I will be DMing Rime of the Frost Maiden. If you want to watch me and that jazz over there, there's my info, or Rob's info. It's 9 o'clock Eastern. Sunday, we're going to do All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. I forget what. No, it's just question and answers crap going on. That's at 9 o'clock on Sunday. And then Tuesday, Princess of the Apocalypse right here at 8 o'clock. And then Friday, I will be running Jungles of Cholt, a homebrew. So that's it. That's what we've been doing. Hopefully we'll get the cameras fixed. I think Manicuri's going to help me maybe tomorrow afternoon when he gets done buying a car.
You watch, all of Rob's cameras will be broken tomorrow.
Panic mode. He's going to wig out. He's going to have a
Yeah.
breakdown. He's going to have a breakdown. Maybe we should get him fired up on it. But that's it. Let's get out of here. Say goodnight to everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Night all.
Good
We'll
night.
see you guys around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, most of it, and watching my screen. But we'll see you guys later.